The past 2 years have seen a massive explosion of population growth for both Orlando and Tampa. And one of the number one questions that people reach out and ask me is, should I move to Orlando and Tampa? And that's a very personal decision. But I thought today, let's go down to Tampa. I'm gonna introduce you to a partner of mine down there. And we're gonna talk about entertainment, jobs, real estate, and maybe how you make a decision, Orlando versus Tampa. Stay tuned. Tony Baroni, what's up, man?
Ken, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. So where are we at today?
We are in downtown Tampa today.
Man, I'm excited to see your city.
Yeah, I am too. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, how long have you been a resident of Tampa?
Since 2001.
2000, so you've seen this area kind of continue to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen it grow up.
All right,
Let's
so
put it that way.
What's the best way to start this video to start seeing Tampa?
We're gonna get on a boat.
Mind the gap. All right, so let's talk sports, okay? Orlando versus Tampa.
Talking my language.
All right, so in Tampa, the major sports teams are?
We got the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
Right? We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yep, and they're all pretty good.
They're really good.
All right, so I'm going to break down each kind of section based on the footage of what we did down in Tampa, and the first one being sports. Tampa has amazing sports, and Orlando has some amazing sports. You've got Orlando City Soccer, and you've got Orlando Magic. If I had to look at just sports teams with national appeal and international appeal, I'd have to look and see Tampa probably wins this one.
All right, so where are we at here downtown?
So we're at Armature Works now.
Cool. This is kind of feels like maybe a bit of an industrial, newer revamp over here. What's going on?
Yeah, so it was a warehouse at one point, and they revamped it into what it is now, Armature Works. So you got restaurants, bars, great music scene on the weekends, obviously wonderful views.
Could somebody ride a bike from here all the way down to where we just came from?
Right on the Riverwalk, yep.
Yeah, so you've been here for 11 years? 21 years.
21 years.
You've been here for 21 years.
It's hard to believe,
Yeah,
really.
and so how has this all changed since you've been here?
It's completely different. I mean, over here was just all industrial warehouses. The riverfront really wasn't developed at all. And now since they put the Riverwalk in, it's kind of the new hangout spot for everyone that lives here and everyone that vacations here.
Yeah.
Let's take a minute and compare downtown Tampa to downtown Orlando. Now, downtown Orlando, I think, has an opportunity-rich environment right now. There's Creative Village, and there's the new thing going in next to Amway Stadium, the $500 million entertainment district. There's a lot of new buildings going in downtown, and I think that overall, the next 10 years will show that Orlando's downtown becomes a better downtown than Tampa. But with the Riverwalk and everything else that Tampa currently has, I think it has a slight edge over downtown Orlando.
So I'd heard that Tampa is one of the main places that millennials were relocating to, especially if they got priced out of Seattle and Austin. Why do you think so many millennials are moving to Tampa?
I mean, I would say the sunshine alone, is probably the biggest attraction, along with everything to do here.
Yeah.
The job market has been very, very good. Lots of growth. Really a home of entrepreneurs, too. So many people that have companies end up here.
So let's talk about jobs and where people are working from then, right?
Yeah,
So you
sure.
said entrepreneurs big, which I think is great. I think Florida's attracting a lot of those people that can either work from home or have at-home business.
Sure.
But what about an actual industry? What is Tampa known for in regards to just jobs?
Yeah, jobs, I'd say a lot of medical, logistics,
Okay.
hospitality. Those come to mind out of everything.
Yeah, and that's probably where you've seen the most growth, yeah?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
So how do we break down the job markets in both Tampa and Orlando? I used a bunch of different metrics. The first one was Indeed.com. How many available jobs did they have in Tampa versus Orlando? And looking at the job websites, there were about 10% more jobs currently available in Tampa versus Orlando. The average salary in Tampa was 5% more than in Orlando, and currently that's $49,000 a year. And so it looks like Tampa might have the edge until you start looking at the diversification of industries. We have a lot of hospitality jobs here that obviously bring down some of the average pay, but we have a much wider diversification of industries, from aviation, defense, accounting, hospitality, obviously, and a lot of other things that are emerging in our area with healthcare. And so I do believe that Orlando will continue to climb the scale. The last thing, when you look at jobs and really how far does your money go, Tampa had a higher cost of living index than Orlando. And so at the end of the day, the salary increase that you get from Tampa is offset with the lower cost of living in Orlando. So when it comes to jobs, I think you have to look at what are you after, what skills do you have, and what industry are you in? And really, Tampa versus Orlando, it's a tie.
So someone's visiting. What's your go-to restaurants downtown?
Yeah, downtown Eulalie, right here on the Riverwalk.
What was that other place right as we were getting off? You're like, that's my sushi place.
Jackson's.
What do you think of like the food scene in general? So I was going on like the Michelin star website. I'm not going to tell you how many there were in Orlando, but how many like, what do you think about the food scene in Tampa in general? Is it getting better? Is it mostly corporate? Is it mostly like little shops like this?
I think it's getting better, definitely getting better, on the rise. One of my favorites is probably that you looked up was Burns Steakhouse. So
yeah.
That's one of my favorite spots. Not downtown, but close.
Cool. And do you feel like not as many chains at this point?
Definitely more and more of that,
okay.
Which is great.
And we're on the bay, so seafood, is that a big thing here or no?
It is for me.
All right, so food is a very subjective kind of thing, right? Everybody has different tastes and different things like that. But I think if you look at the Michelin guide to Orlando versus Tampa, you have significantly more five-star restaurants and fine dining experiences in Orlando. A lot of that has to do because we have so much hospitality and so many really nice hotels here that also come with really nice restaurants. And so the overall vibe, if you're looking for fine dining or different variety, I think Orlando wins over Tampa significantly. If you look at average cost of groceries and just sort of day-to-day food, actually Tampa is more affordable. And so depending on what you're looking for, it could be Tampa or Orlando, but here food, I think Orlando wins.
All right, so the purpose of this video, we are just talking about Tampa. We're not talking about Clearwater or St. Pete, which I know a lot of times get lumped in, but we drove about a half hour from downtown, and I want to show you guys what does 500,000 or 550,000 buy you in Tampa and compare that to Orlando. So where are we at, Tony?
We are in Lithia, Florida, which is a suburb of Tampa Bay. We're gonna see a house that's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, about 2,200 square feet, brand new construction.
And so how much new construction is there in Tampa compared to maybe like resale?
You know, there's a lot of new construction the further you go out, there's land, right?
Yeah.
So we see a resurrection in Tampa, right, where people are tearing down and then building up again.
I noticed in the downtown area, there's mostly high rises, which you guys can go way higher than we can because we got the airport nearby.
Yeah.
But do you have like older kind of communities right in the downtown area, or is it mostly those high rises?
Yeah, most of them are older, and then you've got brand new, right?
Oh,
so
really?
the ones that are getting tore down are tore down to be built.
Yep.
And a lot of older homes that are really charming and cool.
That's cool.
All right, so here we go, real estate, my favorite topic, Orlando versus Tampa. If you look at the average price of a home in Orlando, it's $395,000. The average price of a home in Tampa is $430,000, so a bit more affordable in Orlando. And both have very, very similar types of real estate, new construction, old homes, tear downs, homes in HOAs, homes in high rises, a little bit of everything. Obviously, Tampa has homes on the bay. We don't have the bay, but we have a lot of lakefront property and golf course front property. And so I think that both of them have amazing real estate opportunities, but Orlando is a bit cheaper.
So let's talk about weather. So Hurricane Ian just came through. How is that for Tampa?
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about living in Florida. You
Yeah.
just never know what's going to happen. We used to think Orlando was safe.
Yeah, right.
And now it'll cut right through the state. So, within Tampa, you have all kinds of weather. It rains a lot, as we know.
Yeah, we just drove through some
Just
of it.
did, yeah. But also have the sunshine, and people don't move here for the summer, they move here for the winter months.
That's true, yeah. That's coming up soon.
Beautiful weather.
Being that we're both in Central Florida, Tampa and Orlando, I think that we have very similar weather on a day-to-day or month-to-month basis. I think Orlando has the edge here because we are inland, and I'm not worried about hurricanes nearly as much in Orlando as I am if you live on the coast where they hit all the time. So I think this one's a no-brainer. Orlando wins weather.
All right, so what about entertainment? Like what beyond sports, what's there to do in Tampa?
You know, one of my hobbies is fishing.
Okay.
Right, so I love to get out on the water, just boating in general. All kinds of restaurants to go out to dinner. We love to do that. Beaches.
Really close by. Yeah.
We got Busch Gardens here.
Busch Gardens,
great
yeah.
amusement park.
Yeah. But let me ask you this: how often do you go to Orlando for a theme park?
You know, I love Orlando, and as you know, my wife loves Disney,
Yes.
so we go quite often.
Yeah.
Universal, we go there all the time. I've been to Disney no less than 100 times.
I believe it. All right, Tony. So people want to reach out, and they're thinking maybe Orlando, maybe Tampa, and you're trying to sway them over to Tampa. What do you say?
I mean, the number one thing I'd say is beaches.
Okay.
If you love the beach, if you love the water, you love all the sports teams, I would say, you know, you definitely should check out both and spend some time there. You know, we do a lot of relocations, and I think it's important to actually hang out and get the vibe, you know, and make sure that that vibe fits you.
Yeah.
Orlando versus Tampa. I think this is where Orlando absolutely shines. You have the theme parks and the nature trails and just all of the things that Orlando has to offer from an entertainment perspective beyond sports. And that's why I think so many places come here for their work conventions, and people move here regardless of what they're looking to do on a day-to-day basis, but you just never get bored in Orlando. And so when I look at what Tampa has to offer, I think Orlando has the edge.
All right, so that's wrapping up our time here in Tampa. And I think if you're thinking Orlando versus Tampa, at the end of the day, it's going to be your lifestyle. What's most important to you? What are you after? If you're maybe in the younger scene and you're kind of looking for beaches and that, Tampa's probably the winner. If you're looking for theme parks, a little bit more inland, you're looking for maybe a little bit more house for your money, depending on the area, Orlando's probably for you. And so if you're thinking about buying or selling anywhere in either Tampa or Orlando, reach out, info@positgroup.com, and either my team or Tony's team can take care of you guys. We'll see you on the next video.